Hey guys, I'm going to give you guys a little masking and painting 101 here for doing some camo work. See, this has got a camo faceplate. That's a beautiful thing, but it doesn't do you much good if the rest of the radio is exposed, which in my case, the way I'm going to carry it, I'm probably going to carry it exposed. So blue tape, guys, blue tape is your friend. Now, what you can do, you can just make it a little extra big, right? Do a little bit of an overlap, because you'll find your spray is going to go. I want to make sure you guys are seeing this. Nothing to this kind of work. Just take your time and try not to shoot yourself if you get frustrated. So what you want to do is you want to press that blue tape down pretty good and find that crease, that natural crease using your fingernail. See that? I'm creating that crease. That's going to be my little guide for my razor knife. Okay, no sense in looking for the crease with a razor knife, you know. Use something blunt like your fingernail or whatever. Tallywhacker, whatever's blunt. Okay, so then you just take a razor blade and you go right into that little seam, and you're going to get a nice protection for the faceplate. Just wanted to give you guys a view of this little process here. And then what I'm going to do, and you're going to watch me do it. So you're going to watch me paint this damn thing. Which is no big deal. And you can see whether or not you got it right or not, right? Go back over it lightly. You don't want to cut into the radio. All you're trying to do is just get that. That's the deal. Could have maybe gone just a touch farther up, but you know what? It's not going to matter. I'll show you something about camo painting, guys. It's not as anal as some other kinds of painting. You know, like painting your hot rod or your chopper or something. You're just painting your radio. And you know, you're not going to get judged on this. It's just to make it less visible. So there's the masking. Now, once you got to this point, I don't see any reason that we got to keep turning the camera on and off, because this stuff is straightforward, easy stuff. Here, I want to make sure I got the camera right in frame there. Now, we're going to whiff this. You want to use your lightest color first. In this case, I have sand color. Okay, you give it a shake. Make sure that everything inside is agitated, because it's a flat and it has a flattening agent, etc., etc., etc. When you're shaking all this stuff, shake it up all ahead of time, and then just shake it as you're using it. And you'll give this a whiff. Okay. I don't want to waste a bunch of this paint, because I don't have a bunch of it to waste. But what you do is you give it what's called a tack coat. When you're painting, guys, give it a tack coat. Don't try and get the whole thing coated in the first shot. It's never going to happen. And what you'll end up with is runs or orange peel or something obnoxious like that. If you wanted to, you could take the clip off and paint that separately. It's no big deal to take this clip off. You know? Don't worry about it being totally even. It's not. That's not critical at this point. You can just set it there and whiff the antenna. And this stuff dries extremely fast, which is a beautiful thing. Okay, now, if you were just, you know, going for the most basic thing, you can see that that's about where you'd want it. We're not going for the most basic thing. It's a little dark, see? And when you start applying your darker colors, they're not going to show up as nice unless you have a nice, solid sand coat on it. You're going to get the best results with the brightest coat first. I know it sounds odd, but you're going to lay some dark stuff over it, and then it'll be so much brighter and more like you want. Okay, so I'm going to have to let that dry. We'll come back to it. You know, once this radio has dried enough, you can handle it and do things to it, right? what you're looking to do is to break up the outline of it. You don't want it to look like a yellow blob or a sand blob or a green blob. You want it to look like it has depth and that it's not what it is. Now, the thing to do to create your shadowy type patterns is I would go with green right now. Now, you can also put black down and then try and put the green over the black, but what I've found is that the green doesn't show up real good over black. The green shows up awesome over sand. So all you have to do is take a razor knife and make some random type pattern. Now, you don't touch it to it. You hold it right above it so you get a slight bit of fuzz, and you go like this. Okay? You see how that did that? Now this part is all tape, so this is almost just like a test, just to show you. But once you find a shape you like, let's find a different shape. Here. This is like a leafy shape. Okay? And I can go like this. Okay? And maybe up here. Okay? Just to break it up, you know? Okay, and you can turn it around. This thing has a variety of sides, right? You get the balance somehow if you can. I don't know if I will be. Just set it up on something so it does. And then I'll find some other random little squiggly shape that I like. Or you can cut one and make one that's exactly the way you want. Okay, see how that makes a jaggedy, broke up thing? Turn it over again. Okay. Still in frame, isn't that amazing? I haven't gotten out of frame yet. And you could take a shape like let's say, like this. Kind of looks like a leaf. Okay. And maybe a little one up here. Okay. So now you've broken up. It's a little windy out here. This operation, but so now you've broken your sand color up a little more. Maybe the top needs a touch. So find the shape you like. Just something to give you a little break. Yep, wrong color. Little break. You know, so that you're just breaking up the structure of it. If you want to go crazy with it, you can do the clip too. No. Okay, and then stuff dries really fast, guys. So it's not something that an impatient fellow like me has a problem with, because I can move right along and work with it. Now what I can do is I can take my razor knife and I can make some new patterns if I want. Let me zoom this camera back just a touch and show you what I mean by making some new patterns. Okay, so for instance, if I want to make some shadowy patterns that are not going to be all over the thing, I don't want to spray black all over this. So now I've created a little slit that I can get some black through. So for instance, right across here, you can do a test with the black, like this. Okay. Okay, a little shadow. Okay, maybe a little ziggy-zaggy thing right there. Maybe. Oh, just a quick spritz. You don't want to go too crazy with it, because you don't want it to be pitch black all over. That's not really what you're after. Okay. So now I've got a couple little things across it, maybe one right here. Okay. So now, see how that breaks up the shape of the radio now? Okay. And this is khaki. What I could do with khaki is I can get... Now here's a nice area just to test, to show you, because that's not really going to show. I could, if I wanted to, flip this over to almost kind of get a... See how that kind of overlays it? And if I wanted to, I can use the same shapes. I don't have to use different shapes. But I like using sharp shapes and then rounded shapes. So I don't want the whole thing to look the same. And I also don't want things to be all one particular color. Like right here. See? So now, if you don't like what you did or you want to change it again, you can go back, give it a little bit of green perhaps. Yep. And give it a little shot of green. Okay. And now I've camoed the radio as far as I want to. I don't have to go crazy on this. I just want it to blend a little bit, you know. And so here you go, a little bit of a camoed radio. And I'm just going to set that aside, let it dry, and if I want to touch it up, I always can. You see, you can always lay colors over colors. It's no big deal. So really, the last thing left to do on the wonderful little radio here is just to peel off the masking. And what I do is I use the blunt edge of the razor knife to get up under that blue paint, that blue tape, painter's tape, you know, and you just pull it up. Try not to scratch whatever it is that you're working with, and you can see it leaves a nice, and I've done a halfway decent job of matching the faceplate. There you go. Very own camo painted radio. Give it a shot, guys. It's pretty easy.